In part 2, I'm starting with the positional play of Amorim's wingbacks in build-up. Here, in Amorim's 3-4-3 possession formation, the wingbacks are very disciplined in holding their position on the midfield line, and this is a constant in all Sporting's matches under Amorim for a specific reason. Holding a deeper position draws the opposition's fullback up the pitch, creating this huge space in behind for the striker to run into. To accentuate this, the 10 on that side drops off to pull another defender up the pitch. We can see Edwards looking at Gabriel, and when he sees that Gabriel has followed him out, he puts his arm out, motioning for the wing-back to play the ball down the line. As the striker makes his run, Holding gets his arm across, stopping the run, but we can see the space that has been created. The impact of these tactics had a slightly different effect in this example. The wing-backs are so deep that Zinchenko has tucked right in, leaving Martinelli to defend that side, but that huge space is still there for the wing-back to attack. As we run this on, we can see that Martinelli has lost the wing-back and he's got into that space, but the important observation is Amorim's wing-backs attacked from deep and really took up high positions when the ball was in the middle third. This example is incredible in terms of how Sporting manipulated Arsenal's defensive structure. The position of the wing-back has pulled Saka up the pitch. White has followed Trincao in field, again creating this space. But look at Arsenal's L-shaped back four. I'm not saying L is for Lerner. These examples are from 2 seasons ago. The evolution of Amorim's team was to bring Gyökeres in, who has more pace to attack those pockets. In this example, we can see Quenda on the midfield line, which has pulled Guardiola up the pitch and again creating this huge space. This time, Trincao attacks the space, which pulls Akanji across, opening this gap for a through ball to Gyökeres. Quenda plays the pass, which leads to a goal. When looking at this example, we have to understand that if the wing-back was on the top line and not the midfield line, the full-back would be here and this space wouldn't exist. Gyökeres is on the ball and goes from here to here for an assist. But they were able to manipulate the same spaces from long distances. The drill is the same. Deep wing-back pulling Saka up the pitch. Trincao is deep, which has pulled White in field. But this time Pedro has made a run into that space from the double pivot position. And look who is tracking him, Jorginho, and he leaves him behind. And they did the same in the second leg. Zinchenko is drawn up the pitch. Gabriel has followed Edwards out, leaving Trincao to attack that space. And look who is tracking him, Jorginho again. We've got Saliba and Gabriel miles apart, with Zinchenko, the left back, miles up the pitch. Very clever positional play. But this is important to take note. Even if Amorim gets United playing, Sporting did play a lot of long balls, which is fine, but it wasn't complete total football. But I love the variation of tactics. How do United fare when it comes to the position of their wing-backs? Well, it's a mixed bag. This is an example of it working. As the ball is about to be played forward, we can see Núñez and Guardiola have been drawn up the pitch, opening this space for Højlund. So that was very similar to what we saw from Sporting. Dorgu is on the ball, and although he is slightly beyond the midfield line, he is deep enough to draw the fullback out and create this space that Højlund could attack. But it's a nice give and go, and he attacks the space himself. But like the Sporting example, he is moving into space opposed to standing in it. This is the other side of the coin. In my opinion, Dalot is too high. We can see how advanced he is of the midfield line. Although the space is there, taking that high position means he has to wait for the ball to come to him, opposed to moving onto the ball, attacking the space from deep. And Walker is able to get out. This is the Forest game, and again, Dalot is on the top line. Defensively, this makes it a lot easier for Forest to defend, because Dalot is on the same lateral line as Garnacho. So, if the ball goes out to Dalot, all Aina has to do is shift across and Yates drops in. If Dalot positions himself here, that would pull Jota out a bit and open the path into Garnacho. This is where Højlund loses out. Malacia's high position takes away this space away from Højlund that was created for Sporting strikers. Of course, in all these examples, this could be what Amorim wanted, but it's a lot different to the positions his wing-backs occupied at Sporting. Now, let's look at Amorim's attacking patterns. If we just run these 3 examples, they are very impressive and look instinctive, but there is a lot of structure to them. If we break these down, as the ball is played around the corner to Gyökeres, we can see the amount of players around him looking for those quick combinations. And as the ball is laid off, it's these runs beyond Gyökeres that make the next pass. So the key was players in close proximity making multiple third man runs off Gyökeres. This time, Pedro from the double pivot position plays the ball and then follows the ball into the space, and it's another Gyökeres layoff. From these two examples, we can see the variation in players making those third man runs and where they are making them from. This pass is about to be played, but look how far back the player who eventually scores is. We have one pass, the second pass into Gyökeres, and then a lovely layoff. The goal scorer knew the drill. He didn't drop off looking for easy possession. He's making that forward run to give Gyökeres a passing option when the ball is played into him. Sporting have got into this pocket. As soon as this happens, Gyökeres is making this run in behind and he is played in. From here, we can see three players looking to attack the box to back Gyökeres up. As he is about to put the cross in, three players are in there and Quenda scores on the back post. I like this example because it comes from a defensive header and therefore wasn't structured. When the ball gets to Paulinho, we can see how many players are around him providing combinations. As he helps the ball on, we can see two players, one of them a pivot, making those runs beyond him. In its simplest form, it's ball into striker and multiple players making runs off him, looking for layoffs or balls in behind. And Sporting scored a lot of goals from through balls or cutbacks after a through ball. Now, what have we been seeing at United? This is a really poor part of United's game on two fronts, and these examples epitomise the issues perfectly. That avenue is exactly the pass Sporting look for, but what does Fernandes do? Plays a square ball. But if we take this back, this is the other issue. Although having a player on the ball in this area is still dangerous for Fulham, there's nothing around Xerxes to play the next pass like Gyökeres had in the Sporting examples. So decision making and positional play are big issues in the attacking third for United. The ball doesn't arrive to Højlund in this example, but let's look at how fragmented United's attack is. Look how far away Ahmad and Garnacho are from Højlund. The closest player to Højlund is Dalot, and both wing-backs are in front of the pivots. Now the setup here is good. We have a path through to Højlund, and both 10s are close to him, but Collier goes backwards. But if we take this back again, rarely do we see the pivot without the ball making a forward run to add to the combination options when the ball is with the striker. In the Sporting footage, we saw Pedro, who was playing as one of the pivots in the Arsenal tie, making multiple forward runs and scored in one of the examples. The Devil's verdict is, like many of you, I assumed that the most important position in this system are the wing-backs and we need top players there. One part of that is right. The position of the wing-backs plays a big role in creating space, but in all 3/3 of the pitch, their initial role is that of decoys. Therefore, there isn't as much requirement for the wing-backs to be top players like other positions. As such, in my opinion, new wing-backs are not a priority. From an attacking perspective, United need a midfield player who can consistently make forward runs to contribute to the passing combinations we saw in the Sporting examples. Gyökeres plays a huge role as the pivot everything happens from. What he does, Højlund was doing at Atalanta. I watched a lot of Højlund when he was there, and although I'm a fan of Delap and accept Gyökeres is a good player, I can say with confidence that Højlund was better at Atalanta than Delap and Gyökeres are at their respective clubs. I think Amorim should be looking to build his confidence, get support players around him, and play to his strengths. He can easily run the channels like Gyökeres, as he proved against Tottenham. Well, that's it. That's how I see Amorim Sporting against Amorim's United. This is just my opinion, of which some have agreed and some have disagreed. But 99% of the comments have either been complimentary or constructive alternative opinions. Both I really appreciate. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.